Hey everyone, and welcome back for another Railfan trip. We're staying in Kentucky, where we'll stop by a few places. We start off on the C&O main line between Cincinnati and Russell. We'll catch a train in Augusta and then in Maysville before finally exploring CSX's massive Russell Yard. First up, an eastbound train approaching Augusta. The C&O main line was finished in 1880. The 107-mile stretch runs from South Shore, Kentucky to Silver Grove. Runs along the Ohio River for almost the entire route. Besides freight, this is also the route of Amtrak's train through Cincinnati, the Cardinal. Looking at the most recent timetable I could find, it looks like this section of track is limited to 25 miles an hour west of the switch. But this train, and just about every other one I've seen come through here, seems to be going closer to the 55 mile an hour speed limit for most of the line. After, in both directions, it's 55 miles an hour for freight and 70 up to 79 for Amtrak. Anyone know if this is just an out-of-date timetable or what that speed difference might be? This is a wonderful drive on a weekend, especially if you take Kentucky Route 8 the entire way. There's plenty to walk around and see in the area. Of note is Augusta native Heather Renee French, who was crowned Miss America in 2000. She's the only Kentuckian to achieve this honor. She continues to bring attention to veteran issues and oversees the operation of the Rosemary Clooney Museum in Augusta. The Clooney family is still proud to call Augusta home. George Clooney's parents, Nick and Nina, still live here. George's father, Nick Clooney, is a very well-known TV personality in the Cincinnati area. As we start to follow the train with the drone, you can see the town in the distance. The tracks are pretty tightly tucked into the town, so there aren't many great viewing angles. We'll listen in as it comes roaring past us. We'll follow a bit with the drone as it cuts the town in half. We can just see the end of the train coming into view. Well, we better hurry if we're going to catch this train again. Next stop is in Maysville. We're set up next to the Amtrak station. While the train makes its way toward us, here's a little info on the station. It was built by the C&O around 1918. The station had been served by the George Washington. That train traveled between Washington and Cincinnati and included stops in Maysville and Augusta, among others. When Amtrak took over passenger rail in 1971, it combined the New York Central, which operated the James Whitcomb Riley, which went between Cincinnati and Chicago, and the George Washington. But in doing so, it dropped the smaller station stops, including Maysville and Augusta. It would take 8 years until Amtrak made its first stop at Maysville, which was on June 12, 1977. The train was soon renamed the Cardinal after the state bird of each state on the train's route from Virginia to Illinois. Maysville is another great town to stop and spend some time and walk around. There are beautiful murals on the city's flood walls. The C&O built this line along the edge of the Ohio River to open up access from the coal fields of Ohio and West Virginia through to Chicago and the ports on the Great Lakes. As the train continues east, we'll head to its destination, Russell. It's argued it was the largest rail yard in the nation specifically for coal. The yard extends about 3.5 miles, which included the Raceland car shops. Russell Yard was nearly 1/4 of a mile wide around the area of the coal hump. We'll try and see as much of it as possible with the drone. Russell served as a point of origin for mainline consists heading west or east to Tidewater piers at Newport News and ocean-going ships bound for foreign markets. While I was there, a crew was doubling out in front of me, but I never heard where it was heading when finished. The yard spans 4 communities: Flatwoods, Russell, Raceland, and Worthington. It's actually 7 individual yards put together. The first is the 36-track Big 4 yard between mileposts CA 524 and CA 525. It was used mainly for coal trains running through Russell. There's an 11-yard track that was used by the engine facilities actually located at the town of Russell. Creo Yard, a 12-yard satellite yard, served a cleaning facility and rail plant, but stands idle today. There's a 10-yard track referred to as the Heavy Sidecar Operations Shop Tracks, and Fitzpatrick Yard between mileposts CA 526 and CA 527, which contains both a 16-track and a 10-track yard and is mainly used for freight destined to Ashland Oil in the form of tank cars. The Raceland car shops, located about milepost CA 527, make up the most westernmost portion of the yard. Lastly, the coal classification yard, made up of the 20-track South Yard and the 31-track North Yard, used exclusively for coal hoppers. Most of the hoppers stored in the coal class yard were waiting to be rebuilt at Raceland. This car shop was part of the Russell Yard rail scene from 1929 to 2019. It covers approximately 84 acres. During the 1990s, car building and rebuilding work went through periods of boom and bust. There would be steady work for a number of months, and then would come the furloughs as work came to an end. Then, some months later, the cycle would repeat itself. This went on for years. The problem was many of the cars CSX now pulled were owned by private companies. Almost half of the coal hoppers and gondolas were owned by utilities or leasing companies. It was proving cheaper to place the occasional order of new or rebuilt cars with a private car building company instead of doing it themselves. After 2004, railcar rebuilding and building went into a steep decline, with the result in July of 2006, CSX sold the Raceland car shop to Progressive Rail Service. The sales agreement between CSX and Progress Rail Service stated that Progress Rail would continue to employ present CSX workers who would be retained by CSX on its seniority list. Any new hires would be Progress Rail employees. Progress Rail then began to use the Raceland shop to repair and retrofit tank cars to bring them in compliance with the new National Transportation Safety Board rules and to do heavy repair work on CSX cars. CSX ended the railcar rebuilding at Raceland as all of its coal fleet had been modernized. CSX went on to say that any foreseeable need for coal hoppers and gondolas could be met using the railroad cars it had in storage. The workforce at the Raceland car shop thereafter averaged about 20 employees who were employed in tank car cleaning. Then, in January of 2019, Progress Rail announced that it was closing the Russell car shop immediately due to a lack of work and the need to upgrade the facility to meet new EPA rules. As we look around, I also noticed how many Norfolk Southern engines there were on the property. If anyone can explain this to me, I'd certainly be interested to know. Did some company buy them for scrap and they're just waiting to be destroyed? Or why are they being held here? As we fly along the yard, you really get an idea of just how large this place is. It truly is massive. I noticed this train. I thought it was doubling out. I noticed this train. I thought it was doubling out, but I think what we're witnessing is actually flat track switching. If you notice, it looks like a section of cars has just been released and are being sorted. The turntable still looks like it's in good working order. It's pretty neat to see, and I wonder if they still use it. As we pull out to a wider view, it looks like all the buildings are still in really good shape. Russell Yard was busier than I expected, and it was much larger than I imagined. It's a shame to see so much in storage, but hopefully some of this will get a second chance at life on the rails. There is a lot in the area, and Ashland is just a bit down the ways, plus Huntington, West Virginia is just past that. I've stopped by Canova, which is between Ashland and Huntington, twice, but I haven't been able to launch my drone to get any video of the Norfolk Southern Railroad Bridge. I did get this NS train as it crossed over, but the view isn't that good. I do plan to come back and spend a whole day in the area. I may try from the Ohio side of the river to see if I have any better luck. Well, that's it for this trip. I hope you liked it. I had a lot of fun. I do have several videos in the works and hope to get them out in the coming weeks. We'll make a trip down the CC Sub to CSX's Corbin Yard. In another trip, we'll head north to revisit Norfolk Southern's largest yard in Bellevue, Ohio. The hump was shut down and the yard was dead when I was there a year ago. Has anything changed? I also stopped by CSX's North Baltimore Intermodal Facility and the Crossroads in Deschler. Lastly, I went to Baltimore, Maryland, and was able to squeeze in a half day of rail fanning. We'll check out a little yard action for Norfolk Southern and CSX, plus we take a look at the Howard Street Tunnel, which, if you're familiar, it limits CSX intermodal trains to one container. No double stacks coming through here. And finally, we'll take a ride on an Amtrak to Washington, D.C. and catch a few trains on the Northeast Corridor. I hope you'll subscribe so you can see when those come out. Please let me know where else you'd like to head on a Railfront adventure. Until then, I hope you have a great day.